Hello everyone, welcome back. Another Technique Tuesday. This week we're going to go through a row. Now a row is a horizontal pull that goes in conjunction with generally a horizontal press like a bench press, a push-up or something like that. Today I'm going to go through ring rows, and I just want to go through some key points that we generally coach that I feel when people come in and they've been doing it before have been missed, to try and maximize the efficiency of the movement, to firstly correct imbalances that you might have, and also start the process of potentially correcting some bad posture. So with the ring rows, one thing that does get missed a lot in a lot of programs is that horizontal row. Plenty of pull-ups, plenty of pressing, both overhead and both while you're lying down, but then doing that row is something that gets left out of a lot of programs, and it's super important. Now, we use the ring rows a lot. You can change the difficulty of the movement, which I'll go through in just a second. You might also, if you're at a conventional gym, a seated row is another good variation of this, and the key points that I'm going to talk about shoulder position and what you're looking to achieve are going to transition to that movement quite nicely. So with the rings, when we get people to set up with the rings, what I will tell most people is, if you come to the rings where there's slack on the line, you want to start off with those rings in that finish position, so at the end of that pull, which is, I basically want my knuckles hitting the side of my rib cage. And then from there, I'm going to take a couple of steps back, take that slack up off the line, and then I'll lean on back into this bottom position. So when I'm in this bottom position, what I want to do, we'll normally teach a supinated grip, which means my thumbs are pointed to the ceiling, all my fingers are straight up and down. And when I'm in this position, what I'm going to think about is pulling those shoulder blades down to my back pocket, and then as I row up, I'm going to making sure I'm pulling those rings all the way to my chest and squeezing those shoulder blades, and then lowering myself back down into a good position. I want to make sure when I'm in this base position, I'm not getting into that lazy posture. And I also want to make sure when I row up, I'm not shrugging up and utilizing those traps too much as I row up. And one of the big indicators and a telltale sign for you if you're doing it, other than maybe your neck getting a little bit tight, is where those rings are hitting on your chest. You want it just below your pecs rather than up above, towards your armpit here. So if we're getting those rings to there, it's going to stop us overutilizing those traps as we row up. So making sure we maintain good position, nice high pull, and then bringing it back down. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to really strengthen that scapula. So for those of you that have a little bit of internal rotation going on, we've done a previous video where we've gone through a pec release and a scap release. So doing that mobility work and then adding in something like a horizontal row to be able to help build that musculature is a really key point to add into any well-balanced program. Now with the rings, with a seated row, it's easy to increase the intensity of the movement. You can either increase the reps or you can increase the weight. With this, you can use the rep thing as well by increasing the amount of repetitions that you do. But if we want to make that harder on ourselves, we're just going to get our body more horizontal, but we're making sure that we maintain that good position. We don't want to do like this kipping type deal. We want to make sure we stay nice and tight through that midline, really pulling nice and high, getting those knuckles to that chest, and getting that nice shoulder blade squeeze, shoulder blade work at the top. So ring rows or any form of horizontal row. Bent over row is another good variation, or a seated row, something that I feel you should be doing regularly in a good, well-balanced program. So plenty of rows for Jesus. Have fun with it. We'll see you later.